Hi, and welcome to Micro Moment Monday, where today we are going to talk about how to be smart about packaging dates on food. You know, those dates and all of the numbers and codes that are found on food packaging today can be very confusing. And one of the reasons is because there's no universal system. There is no system established by law in this country, with a couple of exceptions, about what manufacturers have to stamp on their packaging in terms of food and how long it is good for. So I want to go through a couple of things. We're going to do some definitions first, and then I have a selection here of foods that Jim and I have pulled from our shelves that we're going to go deep diving on some of the foods. First of all, the law does say that if a food can spoil within 30 days, then the manufacturer has to put a sell-by or pull-by date on the packaging. And that would be for things like, for instance, this is sour cream. And so here is the date, 10th of October of 2022. So we still have a little bit of time on this. If it was still in the store would have to pull this by this date, because by this date, you only have about 30 days left of using it before it may go bad. And the same thing applies to a lot of dairy and eggs. Here's an egg carton. This is an old egg carton. We reuse our egg cartons because we buy eggs in bulk and then repackage them. This says sell by August 20th of 2020. So we've had this one quite a while. But the sell by or pull by, those are dates for the stores that carry these products to pull them off the shelves so that we don't pick up things that we get home and they're going to go bad in a day. Okay, so that is one that is regulated by law. I'm going to put these over here since we've already looked at them. But pretty much the rest aren't. They're not regulated by law, but we need to use our common sense. So what are some of the other things that are found on packages? The rest have to do with the quality of the product and not the safety of the product. So quality is defined as smell, taste, texture, and that's it. The quality can still be good even beyond the dates that are stamped on that packaging. So one of the most popular ones is, it says best used by or use by, and then it gives the date. And those dates are established by the manufacturer about what they think is when their product is at peak quality, and then after that it starts going downhill. But now there are downhill descents that look like this, and then there are downhill descents that look like this, gradually over time. So we'll get into some of that here in just a minute. One of the next ones is the freeze-by date, and that is quite often on meats. And that is because the date is approaching a certain time when you either need to use it or freeze its life or extend its life, the quality, by freezing it. And so we found, I think, one of those. Didn't we find one, Jim?
Yeah.
Now, the pack-by date is simply the manufacturer's note to itself. In case something goes wrong, there is usually a pack-by date and then a string of other numbers and letters which tells them the lot number, the packing location, just in case a product needs to be recalled or something goes the matter with it. Pack-by date and information really is not for consumers. That's strictly for manufacturers, so that you can completely overlook that one. Then after that one, there is an expiration date. And these are for foods like yeast, for instance, that their effectiveness really does quit being effective after a while. The expiration that is stamped on baby formula and baby food, as well as medications and drugs, really should be observed. Those we don't want to mess with. But there are other expiration dates where the food is still probably good after that date. And remember, these are all quality. It is smell, taste, and texture. Except with the expiration date, it is also effectiveness. So what do we do with all of this? Let's go through these and just kind of take a look at this array of foods that we have pulled. So this is about 7 pounds of pork chops. Woo! Okay, so we have a pack by date of September 6th, a sell by date of September 9th of this year, but they are frozen. So we have arrested the food spoilage by putting that in the freezer, but that's good information. The pack by date is just the date that the package was packed. It gives us a piece of information. Sell by is when they have to pull it off the shelf. Jim got it way before that. This has been out in the freezer about a month, I think. So it is to the advantage of the packer or the manufacturer to say, by this date, the quality can start going down, but not say, by this date, this product will be bad and it's going to kill you if you eat it. They're not going to ever say anything like that. So who makes the decision about just how long this will stay good after October the 3rd? Well, I do. I took in a previous package last week the last couple of pieces out of our most recent package for lunch this past week, and as I was eating it for lunch, I could tell that it was on its last legs. And so, in fact, I think there was a little bit left in the package, wasn't there, Jim?
Yeah.
And so
pieces.
I let Jim know that this is, and it was like 3 weeks beyond. And so then we tossed the rest. And so it is the consumer who makes the decision about safety. The manufacturer says, this is the peak date for the quality of our product. After this, you're on your own to decide. And that's good for us. So that way we won't waste food. We won't throw it away before it's actually bad. Okay, so let's continue. Here is some yeast. This is my favorite yeast. On the back it says date of production, 12/20. Best if used by 12/22. And then here's a manufacturing lot, and it gives a series of numbers. So this is best used by December of this year. So I've had this yeast for a couple of years in my freezer. Now, in December of this year, when the best used date expires, I shouldn't use the word expire because this does not say expire on it. Does that mean it all of a sudden goes bad? No. The quality may not work as well because the quality has gone down, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work at all. And so it's my decision. I keep using yeast well beyond the best used by dates, and it has always worked fine for me. Every once in a while, I will make a batch of bread with yeast that doesn't do a thing. And so then I throw the rest of it out. And so we get to make those decisions for ourselves. Okay, then I have all of these things over here. So here is a package of fig bars. So Jim and I kind of went on a scavenger hunt through all of our stuff. Oh, did you notice this was made in Reno, Nevada?
No, I didn't catch that.
We used to live there. Best by February 28th, 23. So that's quality, it's not safety. If these are still hanging around after February of next year, are we still going to eat them? Absolutely. Okay, here is my newfound best thing, which is the salad topper. And this has pepitas, which are pumpkin seeds, and sunflower seeds, a couple of other nuts, and some craisins. So how long is this good for? Until May 3rd of 23. And if we haven't used it all the way, we're going to keep using it. We can slow down the descent of the quality by putting this in the refrigerator. I have a brand new unopened package in the freezer. All right, now this one is a real shocker. It blew both Jim and me completely away when we were looking at things, because this says Best by October 11th, 2009. This is 13-year-old olive oil that I have been using, and it is perfectly fine. So it is the consumer that makes the decision on how long something is still tastes good, texture is good, smell is good. beyond the best by date. Now, canned goods are another thing. They are usually stamped on the top or the bottom.
Sometimes on the sides.
Best if used by October 2nd of 22. With this kind of a pull tab lid, I find that these will break that seal more frequently than a solid top that you get off with a can opener. But other than that, things can store in cans like this, even though this is going to expire within 6 months. What did I say? October of this year, October 20th of this year. We've got a couple of cases of this corn. We'll be eating this a year from now, maybe even 2 years from now. And so long as the can doesn't bulge, so long as when we open it, it smells good and the texture is fine, we will continue to eat it. Here is the big takeaway from this information. Dates alone do not guarantee safety, but they are guidelines. It is a piece of information that you should use in deciding when to throw something out. As long as food is handled properly and is properly stored in the right storage temperature, which is between about 40 and 75, then you're going to extend the life of your food. But don't throw food away based solely on the date. Use your own senses, your 5 senses, to determine whether or not the food is in the process of spoiling, and then throw it out. Knowing this information about these dating techniques on our food is really helpful for us to know, but we just plug that into our own computers to figure out that, along with all other things concerning with that package of food or whatever, will inform us, and we will make the decision as a consumer of when to throw things away. So I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope we can all pay better attention to what's on the labels of these foods so that we can understand that information and use it to our best benefit. So thanks for being with us, and we'll see you at our next Micro Moment.